Hello. First things first, a long Furby video is coming, I promise. She's actually completed. She's over there. I'm not gonna show you because spoilers. Almost I filmed almost all of it like 2 months ago. I just have to film the outro and I just haven't yet. I know I haven't made a video in a while, right? Get off my nut. You know, I'm working a full-time job. Not now. I have another stay-home order, which is why I'm doing this. I have a dog now. We moved. My dog knocked over and broke my camera. Hang on. I want you to see. This is my current filming setup. This is my old iPhone. I don't know if you can tell, but it's cracked to shit, so I have to use the back camera, which is fine. The back camera is nicer anyway. But I've set up this mirror to show me so I can see what it looks like. The lighting's garbage. The house is a mess. You know, okay, it's a thing. I figured like I would get my motivation up by filming something easy and fun and simple to edit. That's what I'm doing right now. I have been going hard for crochet recently. I've been doing a lot of crochet and I've been doing a lot of looking around the internet for little projects that I could do. I don't know about you. I just on Pinterest see this one picture all the time and it's like this blanket made out of like sunflower squares. It's obviously crocheted. It's super cute. And like when I go to click it, it leads to like a blog that's stolen that picture and then like changed it, the color grading on it, and then is like, oh, look at how cute this is, but doesn't actually give you any pattern. I found the pattern for that blanket. I found actually a YouTube video of someone making those squares that linked to the pattern, and then when I went back and tried and looked at it again, it was gone. Like the web page had been taken down. I'm gonna link to the YouTube video that I found anyway. I found it and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna do it. So this is the original, what the original pattern makes. It's cute, I like it, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try and just change it a little bit. One thing that I really like doing is just like not playing by the rules, and like I kind of generally understand how to shape things in crochet because I've been doing it a fuck ton recently. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different, and what I came up with was a pattern that looked like this. Looks like this. It's bigger and the petals kind of overlap, because if you look at sunflowers, like the petals overlap, the holes in between the petals aren't as big, and I just thought it was like a really nice design. I was like, I wonder if I could make it smaller. This is the design that I eventually came up with. So this video, I'm going to show you how I do a sunflower square that looks like this. I've moved to the table. It's dirty. Please don't comment on it. I don't want to hear it. So I've got all my supplies here, and of course I've also got my cat. I'm using a worsted weight acrylic yarn. Please don't ask me what the brand is. I do not remember. I've got a 5.5 size crochet hook, scissors, and little stitch markers, but if you don't have stitch markers, that's not a problem. And of course you can use whatever colors of yarn you want. I'm just using these colors because I like them. I'm gonna start with the brown for the center and make a magic ring. If you don't know how to make a magic ring, I would suggest looking it up on YouTube, because I honestly do not know how to explain it other than just like showing you like that. So if that didn't help, please look up. I learned it from YouTube videos, so I believe in you. So now that we've got our magic ring, I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's our first double crochet. And then I'm going to put 11 more double crochets into the magic ring. So that'll be a total of 12 stitches. 12 stitches. So pull your magic ring closed, nice and tight, and then in the third chain, make a slip stitch. So that's your first round. For the second round, we're going to be alternating 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. You want to chain 3, or I like to chain 2 and just make the second chain really long, just because, just for me, it makes like this little hole that you get like here less noticeable. And then next stitch, do 2 double crochet. And then in the stitch after that, do 1 double crochet. And then in the stitch after that, do 2 double crochet. And in the end, you should have 18 double crochets all the way around. Up on a 2 double crochet slip stitch into the top of your chains from the beginning, and it's going to curl up and around like this, like it's going to make a little dish because we didn't expand evenly. Don't worry, we're going to fix that. Then you just snip and pull that tail through, pull it tight, and that's your center of your sunflower. We're gonna move on to the yellow, and I already have a ton pulled out from my ball because I did this whole step without recording it. So now I had to rip it out. Now we're doing it again. Start with a slip knot, stick your hook in, pull it tight. This first round with the yellow is going to be 2 half double crochets in each stitch. Now for this pattern, instead of starting by slip stitching and then chaining 2, which is how you would probably normally start a new round of color, I like to do it by making a standing half double crochet. I think it looks better in general to do it this way, but for this pattern it's actually also easier for a later step. And to do that, it's actually pretty simple. You start with your loop and hold on to the tail so that it like kind of stays put and doesn't like spin around, and then do a yarn over and insert into your first stitch. And it can be any stitch, like it doesn't matter where you start this round, stick it into any stitch. Yarn over again, pull through that stitch. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook, and as long as you keep hold of your tail, hold it steady, it should be no problem. Get 3 loops on your hook, then pull it through all 3, and I've got a half double crochet to start. And then we just do 2 half double crochets in each stitch. So once you've got to this point, we're gonna do a slip stitch to join, but we're gonna do a front loop only slip stitch. So each stitch here, you can see has a V, right? Each stitch makes a little V. To get the effect of the overlapping petals, we're gonna do a bunch of front loop only stitches, so only in this part of the V, and back loop only stitches, so only in that part of the V. We're starting with a front loop only slip stitch to join the round. Now, this is where if you have a stitch marker, it can be really helpful to just pop it in the back loop of that stitch you're going to be starting with, and then put your crochet hook through the front loop only, yarn over, pull through, slip stitch. If you don't have stitch markers, if you started with a standing half double crochet, it's actually really easy to find the back loop of your first stitch because it'll be right next to where the tail comes out of, right? But I just like to use the stitch marker just because it makes my life a little bit easier. For our second round in the yellow, we're gonna do a collection of treble crochet clusters. So for the first one's gonna be a little different because you're gonna start off with a length of chain. You're gonna chain 3, and then you're gonna start with the treble crochets. So yarn over twice and insert your hook into the second stitch. Yarn over again, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through the second 2 stitches. But leave the last 2 stitches on your hook, okay? And then do it again. So 2 yarn overs, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops. So now you're gonna have 3 loops on your hook. And then for the last one, we're going to insert our hook into the back loop only. So again, yarn over twice, stick your hook through the back loop only of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. And I like to just keep a hold of this stitch because this can like really pull the stitch out of whack, which evens out when you do the next cluster because you'll be going into the front loop and pulling it back. I don't know, the stitches get all like kind of stretched out at this point, but after you finish the round you can kind of give all the petals a little tug and they move back into a better shape. But anyway, I like to hold on to this stitch just so it doesn't go crazy. Pull through the first 2 stitches, pull through the second 2 stitches. So now you have 4 stitches on your loop, and now you have 4 loops on your hook, excuse me, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 4, and that's your first petal. And then chain 4, 3, 4, and from here on out it's going to be a little bit different, but mostly, for the most part, the same. So again, yarn over twice, and then stick your hook through the front loop only of that exact same stitch you ended your last cluster on, front loop only. I kind of grab it with my hook to get it through. I don't know, it's just easy. And again, I hold on to this stitch because it's getting stretched out, pull through the first 2 loops. And again, except for you put it through the whole stitch. So there are 4 treble crochets in a cluster, right? The first one and the last one are front loop only, back loop only, but the middle 2 are just regular stitches, so you don't have to worry about that. So yarn over twice, back loop only of this 4th stitch, 1, 2, and you'll notice because we didn't start with a chain, we started with having a loop already on our hook, there are now 5 loops on your hook instead of 4. I like to, before I yarn over, I just give them a little tug, just so that all the stitches are nice and tall, because that makes for a nice shaped petal, like a nice pointy petal. That is what you're gonna do all the way around. So chain 4 again, 2, 3, 4, and then I will meet you at the last cluster because that one's a little bit trickier. Okay, so we're at the final stitch of the final cluster. So I'm going to yarn over twice and then flip my work over and find that back loop stitch from that first half double crochet. Insert my hook through that back loop, yarn over, pull through, and then finish up the stitch. Boop, boop, like that. Pull nice and tall, cluster the final cluster, chain 4, and then slip stitch the very top of the first cluster. Boop, like that. And then you can snip your yarn, pull through, pull tight. There we go. Now this will, like the middle part, it will curl up on itself just naturally. All of my squares that I've done so far have curled up like this, and then eventually, like once you get to the end, they flatten out real nice. We're going to our last color, which is the green. Now, a quick note is that for this pattern, I have found that I use way more green than any other color. Obviously, I use a whole lot less brown. Brown is the least amount that you'll need, but the yellow and the green. So I bought 2 balls of each, exactly the same size. Obviously, they were a lot bigger when I first caked them. This is my first ball of yellow. This is my second ball of green. You use a ton more green than any of the other colors. So I would say buy maybe a ball of brown, and then however many balls of yellow you buy double that amount of green is my suggestion. I'm gonna have to buy more green soon. Take your green and make a slip stitch, insert your hook in, pull tight. As you can see here, we've got an even number of petals and an even number of spaces in between the petals. We're going to be working in one of these spaces. So pick a space at random. Does not have to be the last space from the previous round at all. Insert your hook in and do a single crochet. Basically what this first round of green is just squaring up the pattern, right? Because right now it's a circle, so we're just going to square up. So you start by doing 3 single crochets into this space, and then you do 3 half double crochets into the same space, and then into the next space work 3 double crochets. Now that you've got that, you're going to chain 2, that's going to be your corner, and then do 3 more double crochets. Right, so that's going to be your corner like that. So in the next space now, I'm going to do the opposite of what you did in this space. 3 half double crochets and then 3 single crochets. Repeat it 3 more times, so 4 times in total to get your 4 corners. Once you've gone all the way around, you've got it nice and square, you can just slip stitch into your first single crochet, and there, nice and square. It's still a little bit, lumpy bumpy, but we're gonna even it out, no worries. You could probably honestly do anything after this point to like bulk up the border. Half doubles, if you have like a fancy stitch you want to do around the edge. Like, honestly, go for it. Like, experiment. If you do it and it looks wonky, you can just rip it out and try something else. That's basically how I got this square to look how I liked it. I made a bunch that were bad, ripped them all out, did it again, made little changes till I found something I was happy with. What I've been doing, and probably why I use up so much more green than any other color, is I've been making a really thick green border just because I like it, I think it looks nice, and also green is my favorite color. Basically what I do once I get to this point is just a round of double crochets and then another round of single crochets, which is totally unnecessary. Like, I could stop after the double crochets, but I just wanted to, I don't know, put a nice little edge on it, I guess. Start with chaining 2 for the first double crochet. I know you're supposed to chain 3, but I just always find it works out better if I chain 2. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So do double crochets up to the corner. Once I get to the corner, I put 1 double crochet into the corner, chain 2, put another double crochet into the corner, and then just continue on my merry little way. So once I get back to the beginning, I slip stitch into the top chain for my beginning chains, and then I do a row of single crochets because I'm a maniac. Like, honestly, this would probably be good, except, okay, I am not a professional crochet pattern designer. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, clearly. And as you can kind of see, like after this row of double crochets, it's kind of like, it kind of like flips up. I feel like it's a little bit too big. And then the row of single crochets that I do around it, though, kind of evens it all out, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It almost doesn't make sense to me, so don't worry if it doesn't. Anyone who understands like how crochet works, can you please tell me why this happens? I mean, I probably just need to block it. Like, probably if I blocked it out properly, it would look like nice and square, and these little like bumpy bits would go away. But blocking is boring to me and I don't want to do it. I'm gonna do single crochets round to the corner, and then at the corner I'm gonna put in 1 single crochet and then chain 1 and do 1 single crochet, which feels like it shouldn't work. Like, listen, I haven't done the math, all right? I haven't counted how many double crochet stitches are in the last round versus how many single crochet stitches there are in this round. I'm not good at math and I refuse to do it. I just go by like what feels right. You come at me with numbers, I'm gonna cry. So I just don't worry about it. You know, it works and that's good enough for me. I'm just not gonna worry about it. So I'm back at the beginning, just gonna put a slip stitch in that first single crochet, snip, and pull the tail through to make a knot. And there it is. That's the square. Make whatever you want with it. Make a bunch. Make some, I don't know, like a bag or a sweater or a shirt. I don't know, whatever the cool TikTok crochet kids are doing. This larger one is actually much more similar to the original pattern that I based it off of. And if you want a tutorial on how to make this bigger flower one, I could do that too if there's interest. And yeah, when I have all 88 squares that I need for my blanket, I'll probably do a video of me putting it all together, if probably whether or not you guys are interested, because I kind of just want to. If you do use it, please absolutely send me pictures of whatever you make. I would love that. I'm on Twitter and I'm like kind of on Instagram, but not really. I'm mostly just on Twitter and Tumblr actually. So, and TikTok. Did I link my TikTok to my YouTube? Maybe. Anyway, not important. Important thing is just on whatever you decide to use, send me a picture of whatever you do with this pattern if you use it. Yeah, feel free to use it for whatever, literally whatever, I don't care. My brain is mush, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna try to make videos more regularly because my life is finally starting to even out, but we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. Should I have been doing this outro with the camera pointed at my face? No, I'm like, it's fine. I'm just gonna go. Okay, bye!